Okay, so March of '95, I was 27 and found a lump and was told it was probably nothing, but I thought I'd get it out just because who wants to have a lump in their breast. So I had it taken out, and I thought they threw it in the garbage. I was that naive. I didn't even have any thought that there would be something wrong. So I went back a week later, and my job was to go get my stitches checked and get the dog on the way home from the vet and head for home. So I'm sitting there, I threw on a baseball cap, hadn't taken a shower, sitting on this chair, and the doctor took a really long time. Finally he comes back and he starts talking about how he's so surprised and it's malignant, and I'm thinking, that's the bad one, right? And then I just kept thinking, he's not saying cancer. Why does he keep telling me it's malignant, but he's not saying cancer? So finally at the end I'm like, let me get this right then. You're not saying cancer, but is that malignant? Yes, okay. So I get in the car, kind of shaken up by myself, and I drive straight home. And I don't know why, this just spun it funny for me. I feel like the rest of my life is just thinking of this story, because I got out of the car and I'd been fine holding it together, but you know how when you get to your parents or family or whatever, you lose it. So I walk up to my husband and I just went in for the hug. He was outside, so I just went straight to him. And he goes, what? And I said, what's the worst thing it could be? And my husband goes, we're just silent. He goes, the dog has salmonella? He thought the dog had died. And so, I don't know, we just sat there. I looked at him, and he's looking at me, and we're all scared, and I just go, no, it's me. And we just kind of, I don't know, it's like a half laugh, and it's always been our funny part. I mean, I don't know why that would be funny to have to come home and tell him, but it was always just that it never really stayed with me. What I sat through with in the doctor's office, what's always stayed with me is us laughing about the dog having salmonella. I remember my parents were out of state, so I didn't tell them for a while. And my mom would ask me, "How'd that, did you ever get the pathology back?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I haven't heard yet," because I didn't want to tell them on vacation. So finally when they got home, I went over and I kept thinking to myself, I told them in our kitchen, the house I grew up in, and I was just like, in my mind, going, if you stay strong, I can stay strong. You gotta stay strong, I can stay strong. And they were really like, wow, we got something to deal with here. They weren't like freaking, they weren't crying, and so we just held it together. I was 28 by then, but it was like, okay, if you guys can be strong through this, then that's all I needed. So if anybody comes to you, like children come to you with their cancer diagnosis, I just want to say to the parents, do whatever you can to hold up in front of your kids. So, because that's the hardest thing for me. Telling my husband was something like, we're in this together. But telling my parents, it was like, I just felt bad for them having to hear it. And my brother's been a survivor now too, and my father too. So, but I was first. Gosh, I just feel like I had not gone through. Mine was the best case scenario of what you could be told in the worst, but I guess you're gonna know joy again, because you think that you're in the sadness, but that helps you see the joy later, because you're gonna get told, the sad things, and you're gonna think, this is too hard. But then later you come out knowing joy from knowing sadness. There's no way to feel like you watch the shows, I Shouldn't Be Alive, and you're like, that person was at the rock bottom thinking they're at death's door, and then something happens and they've never felt so happy. So I think that even though you're hit, it's just that bottom of the roller coaster before you get to the top again. You're just hanging on through that hard part to get to the happy parts again. That's how I felt like it. It didn't change my life. It doesn't affect me now. I don't think about it daily even. It's been 16 years, and I just have it so far behind me, and I think that that's what I wanted to say, is it, don't feel like it has to rule your life forever or change your life forever. It can be your story. It's what your life story is. And then this happened, and then this happened, and this happened. Just one of those things. That's all. My brother, who had had cancer just a few years ago, was in the fashion show last year, and so he had said to me, Kristen, you should do this next year. So he called me up and said, "You in?" I said, "Sure." That's it.